a single mother working from her home, making something and selling it to someone else. And so what we're very focused on are what's called de minimis exemptions, our small parcel exemptions. So in the United States, you can bring an item into the United States, and if its value is less than $800, that's not subject to customs or duties. That means it's not going to wait a week to get inspected, and then it's not going to get a, whatever the tariff is. Now, there are folks who are abusing that. There are folks, for example, in Asia, who might ship a full container of product of 1,000 identical items, get to the port in Los Angeles, and then describe that as 1,000 different individual packages and take advantage of the de minimis exemption. There is some common sense reform that should happen there. But for the actual small business, for that American woodworker who's going to make something and 3 times a year they're going to ship it to a buyer in Paris or in England, they have no idea how to navigate customs and duties. It would blow their mind to try to learn that. These are carpenters or craftsmen, And so our job is both to make sure that we can make that as easy as possible on our side for them, but also to advocate. We think de minimis exemptions are actually incredibly important. This would be our version of that, is to maintain the de minimis exemptions for the honest small sellers, working with trusted trading partners like Europe, like Canada, to make sure that those people, that we can still allow people to start a business without causing too much friction. And that's the main thing that I'm concerned about, is it needs to become ever more easy to start a business. In this world where automation is changing the nature of work, the fastest growing part of the economy is actually businesses of one. And over 90% of all businesses are solo entrepreneurship. And when you think about what's happening with automation, Gen AI, the ability of one person to act like a much larger entity is ever greater. So that's the part of the economy we most want to safeguard, and we think de minimis is critical for it. Many of it comes from a place of genuine, authentic care for that person. Many of those people are Etsy sellers who wake up every day and take their creative passion and turn it into an actual product that they make with their own hands and they sell. And we want to support those people, and we want to protect those people. And I know that many of these policies are intended to help our sellers. And honestly, from a first order effect, Etsy is probably better positioned than almost anyone in that. If de minimis exemptions go away in China, where candidly I think there's a ton of abuse, but we maintain de minimis exemptions in Europe, between the US and Europe, I think that Etsy buyers and sellers will largely not have any impact from tariffs. However, if the result is inflation and American consumers feeling much poorer, that would be very bad for Etsy. That would be very bad for Etsy sellers. So what we most need is a vibrant economy with healthy US consumers to support our sellers. And then we want to do that within a construct of fair trade and common sense reform.